Welcome back to the Stoop football fans. It's your boy Lolo, and I'm here on another Friday night following I'd say the middle of round 2 of the Euros, and it has been so exciting to watch. We've been just watching matches all day long. It's so nice, but I have not been getting anything done because we have the 9 a.m. match, we have the noon match, and we have the 3 o'clock match. And I've also been hopping on the football terrace. I don't know if you guys have seen me on there talking with Terry Fleurs and some of the other guys there post-match. So that's been a lot of fun. Very different to our show and very weird that I have to let other people talk and that I'm the only one drinking on that show. But cheers to everybody. Happy Friday. John, hey. Romania.
You forgot about me, buddy. Cheers.
Hey, man, cheers. Romania's doing great. I mean, they killed it their first game.
They only played one game.
Yeah, but I think Romania, they're actually on like a 8-game unbeaten streak through qualifiers and stuff. Oh. So Romania are this dark horse. But awesome.
Once hockey is finished, then I'll start watching it.
Yeah, you have time.
The game is tonight too, so
it's the last game tonight?
No, it's game 5, game 6. So it's Florida's winning 3-2. Yeah. They were up 3-0, but now it's 3-2. And we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, good to see everybody in the comment section as well. Anders, Jimmy, John Luff, Garside. Happy Midsummer. Is that today? Is today a Midsummer Night's Dream? Is that what we're going to be having tonight? Anyway, let's get to it. Let's talk some football. Let's talk everything that we have seen. Straight away, you can tell from the title and the thumbnail of today's show, what we're going to be talking about is, man, does Gareth Southgate suck. And that's just not the American standpoint. That is very much the British standpoint as far as I have seen. And if you're British and you're in there, if you're a follower of England and you're in the comment section, let me know. What are your thoughts on Gareth Southgate right now? Is it his fault? Is it the player's fault? I'll tell you what. There has got to be, I don't know how you coach a team to sit back after scoring a goal. And this has already been talked about ad nauseum. England scores a goal and then they sit back, and they don't just sit back and defend. They sit back in the weirdest way that has everybody wandering around the pitch, yet nobody's running. I think the only person who ran in that last match was Kyle Walker when he ran and stole the ball off the guy who was sleeping. Football with Brownie says, I'm British and Welsh, and Southgate is doing a brilliant job. There's also that look, and there's a lot of Arsenal fans out there screaming for Gareth Southgate to go to Manchester United because, yeah, it sounds like a dream to me. But I don't understand. I don't know who to pin it on. How can it be Southgate's fault that they drop off so much, that they have zero energy? What it looks like. And you watch a team like Austria today, did not stop running, ran their butts off. Argentina in the Copa America, they ran for 95 minutes after every single ball. I know that's a completely different continent, completely different competition, but we're talking about top level, top 10 football teams in the world, and England are supposedly up there, and they should be. But what they're doing right now is just, it's mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing that a team with that much firepower can look so blasé, so boring. I don't know. Like, Sean Dyche football is more exciting than whatever this is that they're playing right now. This is Jose Mourinho, not in his prime, but Jose Mourinho, when he was figuring out how to play park the bus football. And we've even got some fantastic memes that were popping up talking about Gareth Southgate. When Ivory Coast sacked their manager midway through AFCON and ended up winning it, England should do that. And then he mentioned Calvin Phillips. We know we don't have a natural replacement for Calvin Phillips. We're trying different things. You didn't pick him. You didn't pick him for the team. Why are you even mentioning somebody that you didn't pick? And if you don't have a replacement for him, You are the England manager. You have all of England to choose from. You don't have anybody. Anybody. Why did you bring Mainu then? Well, like, what's the point of all? It's so infuriating. And then this one I thought was funny. A little text chain. Good morning, babe. I hope you slept well. I put your breakfast on the side. You just need to heat it up. He sends a picture of Calvin Phillips. What does that mean? You're irreplaceable. Haha. Yeah, that's for the Leeds fans out there. But Gareth Southgate football is like this. Things more entertaining to watch than England. Paint dry. England, every time they go a goal ahead, park the bus. Not seen England retreat this much against the Danes since the 9th century. And even Domino's UK is getting in on it. If Southgate ran a Domino's, this is what it would be like. And I'll tell you what, there's a big problem right now with a love affair with your captain. And that love affair has turned into something weird because if Gareth Southgate and Harry Kane had a kid, we found him. This is, I'm not sure what, I feel bad for this guy. And it looks like he's in a Tottenham kit as well. So this guy has a rough life ahead, it looks like. And then this one was great, talking to Conor Gallagher. You know what to do. No, me neither. Tell Jude I said hi. Becoming a mockery in his own country. He's already hated by so many people who wanted him out for so long. So I want to know, you guys get in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this England team, and I'll be talking to everybody else about it. Moving on from there, the teams that look good right now, my two top teams are by far Spain and Germany. They're the only teams that look themselves. They look to have an identity, and they look to be able to get you with their starters or their subs. Look at Germany right now playing freely, openly, and they have the ability to start with Kai Havertz up front and Florian Wirtz off to the side, and then switch that up for Fulkrug, which it has to be the most striker name I've ever heard in my life. Like, that guy was born to be a striker with a name like Fulkrug. It just sounds like he's going to smash the ball, and he does. But they can switch out Kai Havertz and Florian Wirtz for Fulkrug and Leroy Sané. So once you think you've got some good work going on, you're figuring things out, you've got that ball over the top to Havertz, you've calmed all that down, they switch him out, and now you're being destroyed on the right side by Leroy Sané. It's fantastic to watch and scary to watch right now. Spain as well are able to switch out their players, and they're in a system. The system is working. And yes, they only scored that one goal against Italy, and it was an own goal, but they owned them. They owned Italy. Italy was hanging on for dear life, even though they could have nicked a draw at the very end there. Yeah, it would have been a steal. They would have stolen that because they didn't deserve to win that. Then the last thing that we want to get into today is going to be your player of the tournament so far. Who has impressed you the most? And I know we're going to get a lot of shouts.
You haven't taken a breath since you started. There you go.
And I know we're going to have a lot to say about the Spanish youngsters, 16-year-old Lamine Yamal, who we call La Niña Mal, Lamine Yamal, which is like the little bad girl, but it's not really his name. But fantastic play from this 16-year-old kid who does not look 16 years. Well, he looks 16 years old. He does not play like a 16-year-old. And across from him, Nico Williams has impressed incredibly. You've had lots of players all over the place. Some of those Denmark boys, those Danes look good. You've even got Fabian Ruiz also on Spain looking very good. But let's not count out old man Conte. N'Golo Kante, not Conte the coach. N'Golo Kante, who must be like 87 years old right now, only like 5 foot tall, and he's running the pitch. 2 matches for France, 2 man of the match performances. That guy, the least hated person in football, the most liked player in football. Absolutely absolutely fantastic. So Brownie says you very rarely get a team that starts off well and end up winning the competition. Even in the World Cup, Argentina lost their first game against Saudi Arabia. Excellent point, Brownie. Excellent point. However, those teams grow into it. By the second game, you see things starting to get pieced together. The second game for England went backwards. They were better the first match. The second match for them, backwards. So, yes, grow into the tournament all you will. You just got to get out of the group stage. That's the goal. Just get out. At that point, once you're into the knockouts, everyone is a good team. There are better teams, but everyone's a good team and anyone can knock anyone out. So yes, your placement does matter. You don't want to go up against France right away, but listen, if you're going to win the tournament, you got to beat everybody. You got to beat everybody you face. It doesn't matter who you face. And we just saw France and the Netherlands play 0-0. Netherlands probably should have won. I don't think that offside should have been given. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy, but this has been so much fun to watch, and it's been mostly the smaller nations that have been giving us the best games because they are playing more like a team, less superstar starlets with egos, and they're giving us fun, exciting matches. So that being said, I am going to take a break from talking and bring on my co-host, who I haven't seen in a while because he wasn't here last week. So let's bring him on. Mr. Mark, get your booze.
Or the week before. And, thank God you finally stopped talking, because not only did you take all my talking points for a 2-hour show, you decided to dress like me.
I was on the show first. Where did you get this shirt?
I'm going to have to change my hat. So now we look a little less alike. I feel like we're at like the party and like two debutantes come in wearing the same dress.
What the? I haven't worn this. I didn't fit in this shirt for 2 years.
It's more like twins.
I haven't fit in this shirt in 2 years. You and I got a lot in common other than our clothes.
This is crazy. I tried to go with like a neutral color so we could talk about everything as far from orange.
Turquoise is not a neutral color.
I can't do this, Mark. I'm not sitting here for 2 hours looking at you.
Mr. Tom says I look like I'm wearing a tie. Here, let me fix my. I still look like I'm wearing a tie. Wait, hey,
no, it look classy.
Check. You still hear me?
you could wear a tie if you want. I'll put on my suit jacket and there we go. We'll be classy. You have a tie. I can't wear this. It's so freaking hot down here.
It's too hot here in Brooklyn.
It's too damn hot for no penguin.
It's been like 95 degrees today.
Woo! Night at the Roxbury.
Yes,
and big up BX Gunner, my man. And thank you for your shout on the football terrace the other day. I saw you on there, my man. Yeah,
right on. I was a spectator as well, and it was very interesting to see your face and not to see you talk as much.
Yeah, it was so weird.
Good shit. And then also, like, you covered quite a bit in the intro, and I just want to add: has this not been the most exciting group of matches so far that we've seen in a while? I think
there was like 30 some odd goals too.
Every single match has been thoroughly entertaining to some degree. Almost every single match, not quite every single match. Which match was not entertaining?
The England match, England-Denmark. Denmark was entertaining, but
Denmark was very entertaining. England was awful. And
I would say France's 2 matches were boring as hell to me. Didier de Southgate.
Oh, yeah.
Or Gareth Deschamps. They're like playing from the same book.
The same book, same playbook. You mentioned Southgate and whatnot, and yeah, very, very disappointing showing against Denmark, and maybe not even who was their first match? They played. Who'd they play? Who's in their group? They played Serbia.
Who are you talking about?
And they played Serbia when England played Serbia. Also very, very boring.
Yes.
A couple of things that I'm really surprised with. Where's Cole Palmer? Where's Cole Palmer?
Chilling, as they say.
He is chilling, but
he's chilling on the bench.
Why is he not getting a sniff in these ridiculously low-scoring English? Which was supposed to be a offensive powerhouse. England, they were supposed to score tons of goals, and they've only scored 2. And one of last season's most prolific offensive individuals in Cole, is not getting a second. I don't get it.
Well, Mark, I mean, I can definitely give you some insight on that. I just wanted to say 8563 Robbie, that comment that you just have, I've got that saved because I do want to talk. I have a big talking point about refereeing, and I do want to get into that. But let's continue with Mark's questions here. So where has Cole Palmer been? Yes, nearly Premier League Player of the Year for a shitty team. Where I'll ask you the same thing about Ollie Watkins. Nearly the highest scorer, nearly the most assists. I think he was second on both of those, or
yes.
No,
most assists. Was somewhere. He was in there.
He had most assists in like second goals. Ollie Watkins, yes, he got some minutes and he got a shot on target in the first like 30 seconds he was on.
Yeah.
But Mark, here's this big argument that we always have about Pep Guardiola. And I know you've said this as well, of he's got all the players. Of course he's going to win. He's got 2 teams he could put out there. Of course he's going to win. And that's what I always say. Just because you have all the players doesn't mean it's easy. It's actually harder. It's a harder job that Gareth Southgate has right now than, say, the Austria coach or Slovenia or Romania, where they have their team and the guys on the bench are not as good as those guys. And with England, you have 11 guys on the pitch and 11 other guys who could play. You're just saying they are not as good as them. They are not blah, 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 blah. If you had a team with only England's bench players and the next level below them, you might have a better squad than you do with the England team because it's not super duper star level players with egos and who play their game. It's teammates and it's high quality skill players who are playing on a team. And so Cole Palmer, if you're like, okay, we're going to put Cole Palmer in, who do you take off, Mark? Jude Bellingham?
Rice?
Because he plays in the middle.
But if you're going to take someone off up front, when you take off Harry Kane, who's played 60 minutes in each one, he's been pulled in like the 65th minute.
I think he played the full 90 in the first match. He didn't play the full 90 in the second.
All right. But I mean, Cole Palmer is pretty versatile in a front three. In the front three, you raise a good question and one that I can't wrap my head around. And I know we're only 2 games in, so it's hard to say. He's not getting a chance. You don't get much of a chance in 2 games. But obviously, going into this third game against Slovenia, is it? Is that who's in the bracket? Slovenia, I believe they play next. Who's, they pulled a couple of draws out there in it. I mean, they're going to definitely come and play hard. With England, do you mix it up or do you stick?
Are you kidding me? If I was Slovenia, I'm thinking if we beat England and Denmark draw with Serbia, which Denmark has been drawing so far, Slovenia win the group.
Yeah, it is. They are coming into this game of a victory away from winning.
Right now,
Slovenia, I think it might be important for England to do it. Now, is England also maybe playing the card? Is Southgate playing the cards close to the vest? He's like, you know what, our group is weak enough to that we could sneak in, or not sneak in, but we can get in, we can qualify for knockout, or we can definitely qualify as a top 3, or not a top 3, but the 4 top third spots, you know, and then kind of open it up and not show anybody anything heading into the knockout. You know what I'm saying? Now that strategy could come back to bite him, but the same, is that a strategy that he might be employing?
He's not. He's a fucking idiot, Mark. You're giving him far too much credit. I think I'm giving. I
know nothing. I mean, I know like 3 tournaments worth of Southgate.
Well, here's the thing, Mark. I feel like if that was happening, because that's not a terrible. That's not a terrible idea. Is, you know what? We should get out of this group, no problem. If we win our first game, I need to get everybody fit. So I would have started a completely different team. Not completely different team, but you know what? Saka and Foden, why don't they start on the bench? And why not give Anthony Gordon and Cole Palmer, or, you know, Jared Bowen, somebody, let them start up front. Keep Kane up there for your whatever experience and all that. But at some point, Watkins needs some time, because Watkins is an incredible player to have off the bench, but he never plays off the bench. None of these players ever play off the bench. So you're not going to get the most out of them coming off the bench. So you got to realize you can't bring them on with 5 minutes left to play. They're not going to do anything. Eze was just standing around. He didn't know what to do, because the whole game was all just, it was a mess at that point. And so I just think I would have done it in this. Now, the second game is technically your hardest game. It's against Denmark, but you know, try something different. And then if it's not working by the second half, bring on the team that you started. Bring on your actual starters to play. Now, maybe they were hoping to win those first 2 games, and then in the third game do that, play a completely different team. But those starting 11 just are not clicking together, and something is just wrong. Something is just wrong in the midfield. And somebody mentioned it. Mr. Tom actually did. To some degree, these England players should have the foresight to sense when it's not working and take the game to the opposition a bit more. That's where I was getting, where it's hard to blame Southgate for all of that, because you see the players. It's the players not running. You think he tells them stop running? You think he says try not to win the ball? If there's a second ball, fall back and let them come at you? And it's not even like they're playing counter-attacking football. It's not like when they get the ball, boom, ball over the top to Kane, here we go, counterattack. They get the ball out wide, Saka starts to move forward, and then he brings it back and sends it back to the midfield. Foden goes up, and he goes, I hate being out on the wing, and he brings it back and runs inside, and now there's nobody on the wing.
Right.
Because he doesn't fucking want to play winger out there. He wants to be in the middle. So the only answer here, Mark, the problem child in all of this is pigeonholing, putting Trent Alexander-Arnold in the midfield. You're forcing in this player, a square peg into a round hole, and it's not only just not working, but what it's doing is fucking everything else up. Because if you think about it, and if you just get rid of that position, have Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham right there, and Declan Rice can come back and play as your more CDM type, but then you have Bellingham as an 8, not as a number 10, because he's not doing the number 10 work. You put Foden as your number 10, and you put Anthony Gordon out left. I mean, I know I banter a lot about football, but to me, that sounds like something very simple. Even in game, make that shift. You know what? Pull Trent and bring Anthony Gordon on and make that switch over and just see if it works. But right now, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. So it's
yeah. Do we have anyone from England waiting to get on the show to maybe have a little more insight than a couple of Americans? To a couple of Americans whose best they can hope for is that we beat Bolivia.
Yeah. All right. Well, we do. So let's say hello to the lovely Mr. Tom.
What's going on, Tom? A freshly shaven Mr. Tom.
And he's just trolling us wearing a sweater as I'm like sweating through a black t-shirt. I don't know how I'm sweating through a black t-shirt here. What's up, Tom? How are you?
I'm all right, everyone. I'm all right.
You've been enjoying this football?
Opportunity to rep. I'm enjoying most of it. It's generally, I think the quality is quite good. As I alluded to earlier in your comments, it's nice to see stadiums that are full and football being played in places where you don't have to feel dirty for watching it. You know what I mean? Like Qatar. When they played the Euro 2000 tournament, where you had to do the 11-hour round trip to Azerbaijan. I think it's called Baku.
Yeah, Baku.
And the stadium's half full because obviously UEFA are overpricing the tickets.
Right.
And things like this. Absolute nonsense. But no, it's great. Obviously, they've put it in and I understand why you'll put your tournaments in places where you want to drive interest in football, but there does come a point where it's like, no, you should actually put it in a place where they have the people to watch football and things like that. But generally speaking, it's been good to watch. Most of the games are good. I could be wrong, but in my opinion, the only real team stinking up the joint other than Poland is England. I know we've got 4 points, which probably will send us through. But generally speaking, it's the biggest crime of it all. It's boring. Boring.
Yeah, uninspired. Uninspired, almost like we expect to win sort of attitude.
Yeah, not playing like they actually deserve it though.
No,
don't get me wrong. I will say in the first game, although we sat back too far too early, in my opinion, like once we went 1-0 up, it did feel like Serbia were not going to score. Like as crap as we were from sort of the second half, it didn't feel like we were going to concede either. So I'll at least give them that. But the Denmark game,
yeah,
I think Declan Rice had been dared to like put in his worst performance of his life or something. Because
I didn't want to say that out of respect to Lolo, but I agree.
No. I mean, let's talk about it. And I'm always watching the Arsenal players, and I was watching that going, I don't know who that guy is. I don't know what is going on with Declan Rice. And that's where, when you're saying that across the pitch, when I'm looking at Trent Alexander-Arnold as well, and it's not like his defending was bad or his positioning was bad, his passing was bad. And that's the one thing he is in the top of the world at, is passing the ball, and his passes were all off. His timing was off. He didn't know if he should pass or not pass or what, where with Liverpool, he's just pinging those. And these are more like everyone's playing like, I don't know. So it's, yes, Declan Rice was bad, but when you see everyone being bad, it's tells you there's something broken here. There is something seriously wrong here. When players like Declan Rice, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Phil Foden all look average, then something is absolutely wrong here. So I don't know.
They're afraid, Lolo. They were playing like they were playing like you know what? I'm not going to include the goalkeeper in this. They were playing like 10 individuals who did not want the ball, and when they got the ball, they were afraid to do anything with the ball. They didn't want to do anything with the ball. The sooner they could get rid of it, and it didn't matter who it went to. I watched with my own eyes. I saw Declan Rice retrieve the ball. I think it was like on the edge of the England box, and I saw him like I couldn't even begin to say what I think he was trying to do, but he just put the ball out for a corner. I think it was supposed to be a pass, a sideways pass to left back. That's what I think it was supposed to be. It wasn't. And it just watched it go out for a corner. Yeah, he weren't the only one that was bad, but I'm not used to him being the one that is not good, because he's generally a solid performer.
Yeah, well, where all of that comes from is, you know, when we see these players with their individual brilliance, look at Kevin De Bruyne with Belgium as well. How is he bad? But he was bad. And the reason is, with their club, they know exactly where everybody's going to be. He knows where Saliba and Gabriel are going to be behind him. He knows where Ben White is going to be. And he can focus on not letting the ball get picked off from him and put it into a spot where he knows somebody's going to be, or Raya's going to be pulled out over there. And you saw him in that moment. I remember that moment. And I was like, maybe that was the best decision, was to just kick it out at that point, because there was nobody coming to help him. They weren't in the spots where he thought you could tell. He's like, oh, somebody's there. There's nobody there. There's like, where, let me just get rid of the ball. And I think he passed it to where he thought maybe the keeper would be, or his right back, left back would be, and nobody was there. So, and maybe that's the problem with Trent Alexander-Arnold's passes too, where I'm saying his pass was bad when really it's the runner just running instead of running into a channel, running into the spots.
Everything you've described, Lolo, I can turn around and I'm not going to say you're wrong. That's not what I'm about to say. But I can turn around and go, yeah, it's the same for Denmark. Denmark don't pick all 11 players from the same club either. But they were nowhere near as disjointed as us.
Yeah, but the players on their teams, the players on their teams are not the best players on their club teams. They are not the number one player on their club team, which is England's problem. Generally, everyone on the pitch is number 1, 2, 3 on their team and have that bit of ego where I know what's right. I know this is how I do my job.
Correct.
This is how we do it all the time.
And I think also, you know, there was a desire for Denmark. Like they were like, let's go out and get this. Let's get that result. Let's get those points. And as I mentioned earlier, England just kind of it's like, we will do the very bare, and because we are so great individually, that will translate collectively, and we'll move on, and then we can figure it out. You know, but we will, you know, we expect to get the points. And it just showed in their play. Their play was terrible. Their play was completely uninspired, which tells me that they expected to win rather than have that desire to do it.
Yeah. When Mr. Tom said they're not playing like a team that deserves to win, I thought the complete opposite. They're playing like a bunch of children who feel that they deserve to win. They are not playing. They do not deserve to win based on their play, but they are playing like they deserve to win.
If Denmark had won that match 2-1, we'd have all... Tell you exactly what happened. We'd have all sat here and been furious at England. We're kind of like we are now, but it would have been like, okay, I'm not surprised Denmark beat that performance. But at the same time, you can only call it as you see it to some degree. And right now, I'd still take Leeds getting promoted over England winning 7 games in this tournament. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, Tom, you're not actually an England fan, though. Who are you supporting in this tournament? Leeds.
Well, I suppose I'm supporting Romelu Lukaku because I bet on him to be the top scorer, rather naively.
Yeah, I think who is the top scorer right now? The top scorer is
It's like someone from the Eastern Europe. It's like 2 goals is your top scorer so far.
No, the guy who scored in both
one
games.
player has scored 2 goals.
No, Germany. Musiala scored in both matches.
Yeah. Other than that, everyone else has got 1 goal. Oh, own goal's doing really well. For
no, Schranz from Slovakia has 2.
Oh yeah, and OG is doing very well.
So who's doing amazing?
So you're supporting Belgium because you put a bet on Romelu Lukaku. Okay, cool. Well, we've actually got an England fan sitting in the back right now, and so we'll get him out here to actually tell us, now that we've been on the outside yelling in, let's let him from the inside.
Be an England fan. You're either English or you're not an England fan. He's an American that watches England.
He said he's an England fan. So
what he said.
I'm an American that watches England and is quite
I'm an American that
by it.
England. I'm just not an England fan.
Okay, Tom.
Lonnie, how are you, man?
Hello, Alonso.
I'm okay. Hey, Mark. Hey, Tom.
You know, if you take away the fact that you're wearing headphones and just kind of look at that that silhouette you got going on and the Philly cap, you kind of look like Mike Schmidt.
Oh no, John, no. So yeah, I've been hearing what you guys have been saying lately on the Stoop about England and how bad they've been playing. I think you said it, Mark, the best, that they play very not inspiring football at all. And there's so much hype around this team that you have your superstars and you have people who want to do well for England, obviously, but you got people that are getting older as well on this team as well, like Harry Kane, like Mark, like Kyle Walker, John Stones, but they've been good players for England. Don't get me wrong, but I think you're going to a point where you had to make changes and do it all over again. It seems like whenever you have a mix of older veterans and younger players trying to make a name for themselves, it's hard to do. So it's tough because you have people also playing out of position as well, like Alexander Trent Arnold, like Phil Foden. Those players in particular, like Trippier also plays right back. He's playing left back because Luke Shaw's out. So there's a lot of frustration as fans watching them play, trying to get more than 1 goal, and then them being sloppy at some points of the game or games. They're really unconvincing, it seems like, at times. And you said, Lolo, how Kevin De Bruyne played awful against Belgium. Well, Phil Foden has done the same thing, and he's a player of the year. So, it's really, really frustrating to understand why this is happening. And then you put in Conor Gallagher, and he gets yellow carded because he's lost. He doesn't know his role on the team. So, it's a mess. And Southgate should take responsibility for this, but he won't. He'll make excuses every single time.
Yeah, and there's also this, like, I feel like he's afraid to sub out Bellingham. Bellingham did not have a great game. He was nowhere to be found. Sub him out. Why do you change your entire front line, but you change nothing about the service going to them? I mean, yeah, you put Conor Gallagher. That was not the right move anyway. Like,
shit, no matter what he does, to be honest.
Yeah.
Unless they win, he'll get criticised for anything.
And I don't want to hear this nonsense of, well, we've got no direct replacement for Calvin Phillips. Oh, we've got, Trippier. He's not a right back. He's playing, or he's a right back. He's playing left back. And it's like, then don't fucking pick him. Pick somebody else. Pick anybody else.
Or switch.
I was so glad he said that, though, because I sounded like a right psychopath for the last month when I was like, if Calvin Phillips was fit, he'd pick him. I consistently said it. I was like, he will pick that man if that man is in a physical state where he can kick the ball. There you go. He's in a physical state where he can kick a football. He'll pick him because Calvin does what he's asked.
Yeah.
Calvin doesn't go into business for himself, which is what he fears about the likes of Jack Grealish and all these. Now, I know people are not clamouring for Jack Grealish to be in this particular lineup, but there was a time where when we didn't beat Scotland, what would it be, 3 years ago at this point, it was, we didn't win because we didn't play Grealish. There's always a player that if we don't play him, that's why we didn't win. Always the case. Never changes.
Yeah.
And same old shit. It's never going to change. We'll be having the same conversation in 2 years' time.
Well, I mean, Tom, there was like when he made the substitutions, he took out the front three and brought on 3 new players. And the commentators are going like, I don't know why you would do this. This is a terrible idea. Why would you take off Harry Kane? And then moments later, Ollie Watkins, ball over the top, great, fantastic run. Probably should have scored, but he got a shot on target. They got a corner kick right away. And he goes, okay, maybe I'm wrong. And I'm just thinking, Southgate can't fucking win here. He can't win no matter what, because if he makes that change and they actually combine to score a goal and they look better, then he's an idiot for not starting them and not playing them. He's an idiot for even having Kane. But if they just continue, if they just do what most subs do when you bring them on late in the game is, they try, but nothing really changes all that much. He's an idiot for bringing them all on. Oh, he took them off as soon as Kane was getting fiery, whatever. So it's English media, first of all, that you're never going to win with. But I lost my point here, except that I don't know why I'm so mad. I'm actually enjoying watching England not do very well because I'm like, yeah, get them out of here. Who cares?
Does England playing so poor make the rest of the tournament that much more interesting? Because you're like, screw it, I'm just going to pay attention to
England
Austria, or I'm going to pay attention to Denmark, who put up a really great fight. I don't know.
It's just saved a lot of its coming home memes from being.
Yeah.
I wanted to learn it's coming home in 5 different languages because it's not going to be in English. It's just not. And I said,
at least Spain helped you out with
to Lolo. I said to him, and he's like, "Who do you think is going to win?" And I was like, "I really do believe it's England." And I think today in the chat, yesterday in the chat after watching Denmark and England, I officially rescinded my prediction that England was going to win it all.
He tossed his own tea into the harbor.
So its coming home memes are down by 500%, but memes are up by 5,000. If you've been,
get her to manage England, she'd probably be better. The morale would be up. I know that much. Well,
depends how much saliva she's got.
Yeah, right. Mr. Tom, you brought up Scotland, a team that we have not mentioned much on this chat at all. But as soon as you said that, I went out and I found our Scottish representative with the heritage of the Scottish national team. And I don't care who he says he's supporting. To me, he's supporting Scotland. Stan the man, get in here, my bud. What's up?
Okay, the new.
Okay, the new.
All right,
in case you didn't know, Stan's grandfather? Great-grandfather played for the Scottish national team.
In case you didn't know, I've heard the story from him about 75 times.
It's not for you, Tom. It's for all of our viewers, Tom.
He's told them 48 times.
Yeah, but we drink on this show. Mark is going like, I never heard that.
I did not
digging
know
him
that.
out for the stories.
See,
I think that's fantastic. That's
so just a small recap there for you, Mark. My great grandfather played for Newcastle United. He won 3 league titles with them and an FA Cup, and he also played for Scotland the first time they beat England at Hampden Park.
Oh well, wow! What position did he play?
He was an inside right, as they used to call it back then.
Okay. And what would they call it
Forward.
today? A forward.
Yeah, it'd be a wide
Inside
forward,
right.
maybe.
Okay. Sweet.
Would be on the right side.
He's a goal scorer.
4-3-3, I imagine. It would
I think it was 237 appearances for Newcastle and 83 goals. But this was back then when they won the League One season with 53 points. 53 points won you the league.
Wow.
2 points for a win. Makes sense.
Yeah. And probably 38 goals or something like that.
Oh, no. The one thing about football back in like the early 1900s, there was nothing but goals. Because defending was non-existent. Tactics were in their infancy. Just the one thing you got was goals. But
yeah,
well, like when Haaland
oh, and it was
became
2
the
points
top
a win.
scorer.
It was 2 points a win as well.
Yeah,
before
a lot
they
of
changed
wins,
that.
Oh yeah, right. 2 points a win.
Well, Stan, and sorry, Tom has more to say. Go ahead, Tom. I'm learning how to share the show.
I've already forgot it. It's fine.
Perfect. Thanks. So I don't have to cut you off.
You had a 20-minute monologue. You don't share the show.
It was like 12 minutes, all right? And John popped on twice. That cuts into my time. That cuts into my time. Stan, what do you think about all this? So who are you actually supporting in
But you were speaking at 1.5 times speed.
Yeah, so we can slow it down later.
Go, John.
John's already done a wardrobe change. So have I, though. So, Stan, who are you actually supporting? Are you supporting England?
Well, a bit of disclosure. I'm not one of those that I don't plan my days around international football. I won't take days off of work to watch matches. You know, I might dip in and out. Back when in my 20s, in sort of like the mid-90s, I was more into it, you know, going down the pub and watching the Euro tournaments. But as I've got a bit older, I've kind of, you know, I'm not one of those it's coming home kind of people. But I do like to dip in and out, and obviously living in Canada, it's on when I'm at work. So I had it on today in the background, like the Poland match, and we actually went. Me and another colleague, we nipped out to go and watch the Netherlands-France match because we figured, oh, this could be a high scoring game. We went down the pub. It was, you know what I mean? I was like, really?
It was borderline boring.
It wasn't a good advertisement. Really, for football.
Yeah,
but I mean, looking at
that. I'm sorry. No, sorry, Stan. Sorry, it's rude of me.
But I mean, obviously, being from England, if I've always said I'd like to see England win the World Cup just to see what the atmosphere is like to experience it. No different to saying that I always want to see Arsenal win the Champions League, for example. But when I was told that going into the tournament, that people were saying, you know, pundits like that were saying that England were favourites, I was like, really? Okay. But then when I saw that Terence Trent Alexander, I did say Terence Trent Darby. Popular singer from when I found out the popular singer from the 80s had been selected.
Deep cut, Terence Trent D'Arby, man.
But when I saw that he'd been giving up the number 8
Wishing Well,
like,
right? Is that Wishing Well?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Which is what England's going to need to win the tournament.
And I also believe there was one that went, Dance, little sister. Dance, little sister.
Okay. Now, you see how quickly we get sidetracked. He's talking football. He messes up a Trent Alexander with Terence Trent D'Arby. The show's over, guys. Sorry, we talked about an obscure 80s reference for 2 hours.
But when I saw that he'd given him the number 8 shirt, I was like, well, you know, he's going to put him in the midfield. And what did he say about Phil Foden a while back when people were saying, why aren't you playing him in the middle? He says, well, he doesn't play there for his club. Darby, Alexander doesn't play. I've got him on the brain now. He doesn't play midfield for Liverpool. He might wander in there. It's a big gamble, isn't it, to take at a tournament for me. Mm-hmm. And players like, I think what it is for Gareth Southgate, he's found himself in a situation where he's got an embarrassment of riches with a lot of players that he doesn't have a lot of experience with that have come into form. And it's like, how can you not pick them? How can you not pick a Conor Gallagher or a Cole Palmer? He doesn't know these players. And I think he's a little bit loath to give some of them a go because he's just not sure. And he's a very conservative person, isn't he? And he's got an embarrassment of riches. He doesn't know what to do, and he's trying to shoehorn some of them in. Hence, Alexander playing in midfield, and it hasn't worked. I mean, I think everyone's saying that what he should do is move to a 4-1-4-1. So you've got Rice playing as the 6, but then you have 4 in front of him. You don't need to have another person playing as an anchor next to him, like an Arnold. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because they're stepping on each other's toes. They're you can tell, and that's a lot what we were getting at with Declan Rice's performances, not letting him off the hook because the performances have been bad. And
Bellingham and Kane as well. They seem to be coming into the same space.
Bellingham, I don't know what position
even
Bellingham thinks he's playing.
Even though Bellingham scores, it's one of them situations sometimes where you feel like, like when Cristiano Ronaldo went back to Man United, even though he may have finished the season with 15, 16, 17 goals, and that's really good individually, the team didn't win anything, and the team finished lower than. Do you know what I'm getting at? Sometimes it's not about the service of one person; it has to be about the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it seems to me that Harry Kane is suffering somehow. It's working for him in this setup, and we know goal scorer. So about having Jude Bellingham come back a little bit deeper with Rice, and then you move Foden into the 10 where he's been successful for the last season, and then you put on an Anthony Gordon on the left, which is the left in that position. And also the other thing that I don't get is Luke Shaw the only left back that's English then? Is that it? There's no other English left back. Is that it?
Well, we wanted to bring.
Really?
He's all Southgate is all about. I wanted to bring this guy, but he's not. Well, I wanted to bring Chilwell, but he's injured. I wanted to bring Calvin Phillips, but he's. You have.
Then you go to the chat. Then you go to the division below, right? If you can't find one in the Premiership and it's a tournament, you're looking for a left. You need a left back, right? If you can't find one that plays at the top level, either abroad in another league or in the Premier League, then you've got to go down a division.
Yeah. So right now,
at the moment, Trippier's not working, is it? It's not working. He wants to come inside.
He's playing on the left. He's right-footed. He will not do any overlapping runs for Foden, which means Foden has to hang out on the touchline. That is not his position. So every time he gets the ball, he tries to go inside and nearly runs into Trippier. And it's like, what? So all the plague is on Kyle Walker and Saka's side over there. Oh, Saka is not getting anything done. Well, because all of Denmark is on the right side because they're not afraid of the left side at all.
And I think in a competition, in a tournament, if you want to win it, sometimes you have to make a tough decision. And it might mean I might have to leave this talented player out. But it's to the balance of the team because this other guy can play in that position and be natural there, and then we'd be more balanced. Sometimes you've got to make those decisions.
And I feel like he's saying he's being forced into these decisions of I cannot not play Phil Foden. I can't not play Jude Bellingham. So that means Foden's going to have to go out on the left with zero support and in a position that he doesn't play. As opposed to wingers, you have wingers. Matter of fact, you left one at home in Jack Grealish, who, love him or hate him, what did they need midway through that match? They needed an injection of craziness, of hecticness. They needed an energy injection.
That would pull everybody forward with him. He'd pull everybody forward with him.
Poor Eze with his first start in a real competition, and they throw him on the left there with Trippier and you saw him. He was so uncomfortable because that was a terrible spot to be in. Throw Anthony Gordon on, throw the likes of Jack Grealish just for the energy, just for the running at players. And then all of a sudden, you know what you'll see? Saka will have more space on the right side. Or if it's Bowen that you put in over there, they'll have more space over there. Because, and I hate, as much as I hate Phil Foden for lots of reasons, the guy can ball, and I actually feel very bad for him. Because you saw the only times he looked good were when he said, "Fuck it, I'm going in the middle." And he went and did it on his own in the middle. And then he took the shots on his own when he should have passed. But that's a starving player. Those are things you do when you're starving.
Yeah, I would switch Bellingham and Foden.
You could put Bellingham in Alexander's position, right? You could put him there, move Foden to the middle, and then now you can put Anthony Gordon on the left.
Yeah.
Right.
Or it, put Trent up there on the left. He's still got his left foot, like or I guess he's on the right. He's on the
right.
He's on the right.
I don't fucking care.
I don't think he knows.
He doesn't know right now. That's what it looks like. Everybody's out there like this, like, huh? What should I do? What should I do? And I think the reason that Saka seems to be having less of the yips than everybody else is because Saka is just being told to do what he does at Arsenal, and he's got Kyle Walker there. He's got a faster Ben White. He's got a more experienced Ben White with him. That is flying up and down the pitch, undercutting, overlapping. And Saka is just having to do his own thing, and then he gets back in defense. So to me, Saka's doing all right because he's the only one that's in the position that he's and Gahey.
What about this then, right? I've heard people in the last few days or in the last week since England have been playing, I've been talking about putting Saka at left back because he's played there before.
That would be said, Stan.
Sure.
Heard it on TV, on the radio, and stuff like that. And then you'd have to put someone in there like a Bowen or a Luisi.
Trippier's giving you nothing, and the fact that him and Trent Alexander-Arnold have to fight over who takes the free kick means one of those guys need to go. And John, I can't believe you haven't used the Bandy GIF on me, especially during my 12-minute one. So I'll use it on myself.
This is a man that likes to talk. Anybody that will listen to him.
Yeah, that's me. Thank you, Bandy. Cheers. That being said, guys, okay, we're nearly at halftime. Somehow this has flown by. See, it's so much better when I do a 20-minute monologue to begin the show because we get to halftime even quicker. When we get back, guys, we are going to stop talking about England because it's depressing. And speaking of a lack of press, did you guys see this? The average positions when they were drawing versus when they were, clearly this isn't real, but that's the gist of it, right?
It does prove a point, and it seemed that they were very happy with just one goal. And it was like Arsenal 2 years ago. You're just slaying it, and then you would score, and they would just like, all right, bring it back, guys. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, just want to put on the devil's advocate of the other side of the coin. He's the most successful English manager since Alf Ramsey, who won the thing in the World Cup, right, in '66. No one's got as further than Gareth Southgate has. Do you know what I mean? If you're just looking at the stats of it,
very true.
Do you know what I mean? He's got us to a final and a semi-final.
Stan,
but he doesn't.
How long has he been England manager? This is what, his fifth tournament?
Probably.
And where are the England managers? Where are they? There are none.
That's what I'm saying. Of course, he's the most
successful.
Of course, he's the most successful. He's been doing it for a long time. But what has he won? So it's not success. It's like, Arteta has more wins over X amount of games than Arsene Wenger.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is, you look at the England.
How many trophies do we have?
Bobby Robson, for example, this manager's actually done a lot more than a lot of other managers have. But it seems that he should be able to do more with what he's got.
Well,
right.
I'm screaming Jesse Marsh in. He's going to win the Copa America with Canada, and he'll move over to England. Man United gets Southgate.
He'll do what? Sorry, what?
Yeah, no.
Why is there such a lack of top English managers? Why is that? If England is the home of football and the Premier League is the best league in the world, right? Where are the English managers? Where are they?
That's because it's the best league in the world, so they get the best managers in all the other leagues. So the best English managers,
it's crazy,
arguably, are in the Championship and League One. I mean, I know they're not, but that's what you're headed towards, Stan. It's very much the. But I was going to say, Southgate's a victim of the success of the Premier League, as is the England national setup, because the pool of players to choose from is evidently a lot smaller than it probably should be. Because as you were saying about 5 minutes ago, Stan, they can't even field a team of players that are specifically for that position. Like you're having to play Trent in centre midfield, yet he doesn't play in centre midfield, and it's ridiculous. But
it's not like there's a lack of midfielders either. It's not like it's because there's a lack of as well. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it's because it's a needs must. That's why it's.
But it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse because there'll be another influx. I'm not hating on foreign footballers, but just the fact of the matter is the Premier League has the money. It's attracting players from all over the world. So if they play, who doesn't play? Young English players, generally speaking.
And I've always felt, and a lot of people don't like it when I say this, but I've always felt that a national team should be managed by a national coach. It should be a national team. All the players are from that country and the coach. And I know that some countries might not have better coaches, but they'll have to field best coach that they do have because it's a national team, right? You know, you got a guy from Turkey managing a team from America. I'm just putting things. It doesn't. It's like, how does that work? A guy from South Africa.
I've always felt that was very weird.
It's a national team. Have a national coach.
Yeah. Of course, then we become Bilbao, where it's like, no, not even the nation. Like you have to be Basque to even play on the team. If you want to manage the team, you have to be Basque. Which includes the French side, because the Basque country is in France and Spain. They just make up their own fucking rules out there, which is awesome. If you've never been to the Basque country, it is pretty cool. BX says, damn it, duty called. I'm back. Can you please repeat everything from the last 15 minutes? Absolutely. Anyway, guys, we will be back. We're gonna take a quick halftime break here so everybody can use the potty, and we will be back talking the best teams in the tournament, who's impressing you the most, and who are the players that are impressing you the most. And we also have a very special Euro edition of Betting in the Dark with Mr. Tom. So for our halftime routine here, we're going to show our little tribute video to Bandy. Our good friend Bandy was laid to rest this week. Thank you for everybody who joined in on the live stream to watch the funeral services and everything like that. It was that meant a lot to the people there and to his family to see his other family showing some support. So thank you guys for that. And we just figured he's going to help us go to the bathroom this week. So Bandy, you're still killing it, man. You're still killing it. So we will be back, and I'm going to bring in a special guest. He's pissed off at Leeds United, but the motherfucker is rocking his kit and his on the stoop hat. Bandy Fornowski.
Bandy, go easy. All right, man. I hope you guys are all right.
No, go for it.
We're here on a Friday night. We're here with the Stoop crew. This makes me happy. This reinvigorates me.
Well, you know, I'm here drinking rum because, listen, the amount of arguments I've had with Leeds fans this week, and it's all been about this Jesse Marsh. You know, that man, I mean, my God, I ask my wife, she's got more sense than this man. The things that he has come out with, he is tying the players' hands behind their backs, right? So I have notes because I lose my train of thought so easily. Another thing, that was it.
You lost your train of thought already.
Sorry?
Go on, Bandy.
Yeah, very Bandy. Very easily. So this is a man that likes to talk, Anybody that will listen to him, Sky Sports, Talk Sports, BT Sports, anybody that will listen to him. And we've heard him say on many occasions that he wants more aggression from the players.
It's like any teams at the halfway line before we even engage in closing them down.
Rasta, listen, Ben, right? You remember when we lost Bielsa and Marsh came in, and the Stoop had a show and invited a few of us on to talk about our feelings. What did I say? I said, well, the onlyest thing, because I was so upset to lose Bielsa, I said the only thing really is that Marsh may come in and play 2 center forwards and be aggressive in that way. But we've not seen that. We don't get over the halfway line. He was so glad to come to Leeds, right? He's so glad because he could have gone anywhere else. So many different jobs he could have had. He said he could have been the USA national team coach. What a prune-faced punk rocker. What a prune-faced punk rocker. You can put whatever you like aside, Ben. I will not.
No, I get it.
No, Ben. The man talk a good fight. I'm thinking to myself, is there something wrong with me? I'm watching the games and I can see the flaws, and yet I don't hear no noise from the fans. Is there something wrong with me? And I'm saying, what foolishness is this? Listen to this, right? Look, there's an apple tree, right? The best apples are at the top. Now, you can get a stick and throw the stick at the apples at the bottom, or you can climb to try and get the apples that you could reach. But they all got maggots in them. They're rubbish. The best apples are at the top.
That you go higher, yeah.
The best apples are at the top. As you said, Ben, you set your goals higher. So you might not get the apples at the top, but you're going to get something. You're going to get something better than the maggoty ones at the bottom.
Hold on, Bandy.
I'm sorry.
Do you have notes?
Yes.
He's like, next slide, please. Next slide.
Exactly. People were saying
for about 150 an hour, my wife can put that into a PowerPoint.
Bandy.
Exactly. My wife can do that too. That's what she does. Now,
because we didn't pay the money.
Because we didn't pay the money.
Yes, Ben. We wouldn't pay the kiss me ass money. Right? Yes, Lolo, you have to write something for that. Pay the kiss me ass money. Right? And that's kiss what happened. You can't blame Bielsa for that.
I want a t-shirt that says prune face punk rocker.
We should make those.
I want one that says maggoty ass apples.
Maggoty ass apples and prune face punk rockers.
Yeah, actually, maybe I should get one of those made with Bandy's face on it before I go to London.
Maggoty ass apples.
Yeah. Prune. What is it again?
Prune face punk rocker.
Prune face punk. Prune face.
Well, that prune face punk rocker is now the coach of Canada, not the U.S. national team. Thank God. Or maybe not. Who knows?
Poon.
So it's a prune face punk rocker. I like that. Okay. I hear that now. I thought he said prune, but poon face punk rocker actually might be.
As in poontang. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, it is time for our special Euros betting in the dark with Mr. Tom.
Yeah.
And our little before we do that, I just like to do a little disclaimer that says please we do not encourage you to place any of these bets. We do ask Mr. Tom to find the wildest bets that he can find, where we can turn $1 or £1 into a lot of them. And the only way it gets there is if he picks the wildest and craziest ones that he can. But every now and then they hit. So if you do have $1, once again, do not put it there.
Bet responsibly.
Just don't do it.
When
but
the
if you
fun
do,
stops, stop.
Stop betting. That's it.
if it's fun, keep betting. So, all right, let's get to it.
Betting in the dark with Mr. Tom.
Come on, love, place your bets.
Oh, BX nailed that. All right, Tom.
Hello. Welcome to your Euro 2024 and Copa America, because that's up and running.
Yeah.
Right. Over in the old North America and South America. I remember when they never actually used to have it in America. But turns out the Cotton Bowl like money. So there you go. Okay. Director John.
It is never, ever not been held in America. It's just always South America, okay? Let's just not get it twisted, okay? We are the United States of America.
That was a quadruple negative, so I don't know. I can't do the math.
Add them up and divide by 2.
Rightio. So we are going to start with Belgium to win 3-1. And yeah. So obviously I've gone Lukaku to score first because you're right, Alonso.
I'm good. Yeah, just
Didn't like that Lukaku.
Yeah.
Lukaku upset you, did he? Did he upset you?
No, I just had to take a breath. It's fine.
It upset me a lot because when they were losing 1-0, I may have wagered on him to be the next goal scorer. So I had 2 separate occasions where I thought I'd won, and it turned out I hadn't. Fucking automated. I mean, they were right to disallow both though, so I'll say that. But yeah, obviously gone Lukaku score first. They'll win 3-1. I mean, they have to win, so they probably will. Plus, everyone's at the. I believe words on the street, of which I'm aware. I believe people may be gassing up Romania.
I know.
I suspect so because they played well against Ukraine, but then so did the other team. Oh no, not the other team.
What did Belgium do in the last game? What did Belgium do in the last game?
They lost 1-0.
To who?
Slovakia.
Wow, bloody hell!
It's the biggest winning margin in terms of FIFA World Ranking ever at a tournament, I believe. Yep. Whatever that is. Whatever that
means. Ranked number Belgium, 1, weren't they? Not so long ago.
Yeah. I think Slovakia were like 49 or something like that.
Yeah, there you go, Stan. Romania is at the top of the table right now, and if they beat Belgium, they are in.
Wow.
They are in great shape there.
They're probably already in due to the fact that I think generally 3 or 4 points will be enough to see someone through, probably.
Right. Yeah, they really need a point from these next 2 games, and they could beat Slovakia. I think, but who knows?
Yeah. So so that'll turn 1 into 140. I can't remember what the other ones I've done are. So, Director John, when you're ready, sir. Oh, we're in with the Copa America. Right, okay. So I've gone for a bit of a risk here, okay? Because obviously I've gone Haddy Wright to start the match and then score, probably. And obviously I'll pick Brendan Aronson because he's a prick. And usually pricks don't do what I want them to do, so...
Yeah, I don't know about Bolivia scoring, though.
You can get tablets for that.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Aronson did almost score against Brazil, so there's always hope, Tom.
Well, yeah. We'll see how it goes for him. But yeah, I suspect the United States of America. I believe that's what they're called. Not America, the continent. Even though he's going to tell me America's not the continent.
That is not that is not offensive to people from the United States. It's offensive to people from South America when you just call Americans Americans, because they are Americans as well. They are just South Americans. This is according to people that I've spoken to who hate America, the United States of America.
So it's more a case of I don't want to be associated with those Yankees.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just because you have one country there, don't give them two continents.
Yeah. Canada is like North
in
America.
Continents. Canada's America.
No, we're North America.
Yeah, you're Americans. You're North.
We're North America.
The Northern.
Yeah.
Yes. America.
Adjacent. We're kind of adjacent to America.
The United States of America's hat.
Yes.
I mean, admittedly, I don't know much about the Bolivian national team, but I do know that the villain in Scarface, I believe, was Bolivian. So,
yeah, and
which has no bearing on this at all. So
Bolivia always makes me think of the Wu-Tang Clan.
I told you so, sir. I don't kill women and children.
Yeah. Where they say, raw, I'm going to give it to you with no trivia. We like cocaine straight from Bolivia. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's where it comes from. Got it. All right. Let's see what else you got.
Being United States, they'll probably concede. So,
yeah, I'm going to agree with that one.
Not going to happen.
Although you can shake your head. But
yeah, I'm going with Marcelo Bielsa's Uruguay to win 5-0. Darwin Núñez to score, and probably Suarez to get a penalty or something. But again, can get just under 150.
Do you know, does Suarez start for them? Or is he coming off the bench? I don't
care if he does. Doesn't matter. As long as Núñez scores first, doesn't matter when he scores. Bring him on in last minute. Bring him on with his oxygen tank. I don't care.
Yeah, he's still better than Panama.
Wheel him around the pitch in his wheelchair. And I'll say that. He's only what is he, nearly 40. I'm talking like he's an 80-year-old man.
Comes on in an iron lung.
Yeah.
To see his face out the window.
Director John, we just got called tea-chuckers. That's a source of pride for Director John. What are you talking about? That was one of our best moments. We'll take it. It's better than bin dippers.
True.
Yeah, but Liverpool are like their own country, to be fair.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, this one I like better. I'll place this bet. Sure. Let's do it.
But I've got a good feeling about Uruguay in that tournament, and it is massive.
It's worth a pound note, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's worth a pound note. Not that we condone it, if anyone's listening.
Yeah, not that we do condone it, but if we were to condone it, it would be this one.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Tom, and everybody put in the comments section what you think about those bets. Are you going to take any of those bets? Do you think they're crazy? Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? All of that fun stuff. So, guys, just one more lovely moment from the England fans over in Germany. I know you guys saw the Scotland fans last week that I showed in Germany, and I got to tell you, I saw Mark the next day or a couple days later at the bar, and he's like, "You bastard. I miss one happy hour, and I happen to log on to show my support for you guys, put some comments in, and I log on to the show, and yep, there's a dick. There's a penis on the screen." And he's like, I walk away for 1 week and you show a penis on the show. And I was like, it's the Scotland fans. And it was the Scotland fan wearing the Germany kit for some reason, but he was also wearing a kilt. So the Scottish guys lifted his
kilt. Never look under the hood for a man wearing a kilt.
I thought you were like streaming Naked Attraction again.
Yeah, exactly. So now England trying to one up those Scots like they like to do. We have this. glass on his head. And they're gonna keep going, guys. Oh, and he doesn't wake up.
He drank all those beers that are to his left, and then some.
Oh yeah. If only that was like Jamie Carragher or somebody.
Easily missed.
If he passed that during the England game, then he's the real winner because he didn't have to watch it.
Oh my God. He's probably going to wake up and he goes, 1-0 to the England. And you're like, no, you missed a big part of that. You missed a big part of that match. All right, guys. We've talked about the shitty teams. Let's move on to the teams that have impressed you. And since I made the thumbnail, I went ahead and spilled the beans of what the two teams are that I think are the best teams right now. The ones that have impressed me most are Germany and Spain. I know that's not a reach, but just based on performance, those are the two teams that look the most complete, the most solid, the best bench. Germany 6 points already qualified. Spain 6 points already qualified. And I'd love to talk about those teams as well, but let's hear from you all. Mark, what teams have impressed you the most? Do you have one or two or five?
It's kind of hard to say who I mean, obviously Spain and Germany are pretty much light years away from everybody, but while the points don't show it, Denmark is certainly impressive. And then also, who was it? If I can look at the bracket really quick. The team Slovakia. Slovakia has been impressive just by taking, or not, was it Slovakia? Slovenia? No.
I mean, I don't know which one you're talking about. We're just naming countries now.
Slovakia beat Belgium.
Slovakia lost today to
they
Ukraine.
Turned around and lost to Ukraine, so maybe not. I'm not really sure. But Denmark,
Slovenia drew with Serbia, and then and
Can you be impressed with a team if you don't know their name?
I'm trying to remember them all because I don't know a lot of I don't watch international competitions very often.
Nobody does, Mark. They're every 2 years.
I certainly don't watch friendlies. Denmark's been impressive, and if they can figure it out, the last 10 minutes, not even the last 5 minutes of the Portugal game was pretty impressive once they threw Neto at them, and him racing up the pitch. So hopefully we see a little bit more of that. But no, Lolo, you pretty much nailed it. The most impressive teams are Spain and Germany, and a shout to Denmark. England has not been impressive. Belgium has not been impressive. If Netherlands would have won today, or if they would have produced something a little bit exciting, I might throw Netherlands in the mix. On paper, they're very exciting as far as I'm concerned.
Is Ronald Koeman their manager now? For the Netherlands. I saw him hugging.
Yes,
I'm like,
yes,
really?
yes.
Him? Okay.
I think I would throw Austria in the mix. Austria has been pretty exciting to watch.
Ralph Ragnick, the manager there, isn't he?
Yeah, I know. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah. Austria played very well, and they played fun, exciting football. It's a lot of these not top nations that are actually bringing the most enjoyment watching their matches. And Mark, I think you got a great shout with Denmark. Denmark is going to be a team that that anyone who gets them in the knockout round, even if you're like, we won our group, so good, we have to play somebody worse. Well, if Denmark is second or third, they're still a solid ass team. And if you look at that team, it's littered with Premier League players and players from, like, all those names pretty much on the pitch. Yeah. And then you get Højbjerg playing like he doesn't play for Tottenham. Man, lights out.
He has just been pinging the ball around. He's lights been out. Very, very good for Denmark.
Yeah. He it's hard. It's hard to cheer him on, just like it's hard being a Spain supporter cheering on Rodri. But Højbjerg, I was like, the commentators kept saying, why is he shooting from there? Why does he keep shooting? And I'm like, he's knocking those. Why not? He's an inch away. All right, Alonso, who are the teams that are impressing you the most this tournament so far?
I would say Albania. Really came back and scored a late winner at the very end, and also probably Spain. Obviously,
who was Albania playing?
Croatia.
Okay, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, they won that was like the 95th minute one. Yeah, 90 plus 5 last second to draw level. But they were winning since the 11th minute, and then Croatia scored in the 74th and 76th. So they were crushed and then still found a way to just stand up.
I like that. That's good.
And, Croatia, some people could argue that's the group of death, right? Because Croatia, they're not a bad team. They're a very good team. They were World Cup runners-up, I believe, in 2018. So they made a name for themselves as far as being up there as one of the favorites to win the tournament, or at least a dark horse. So they kind of have their own, it seems like, Romania as well, and Turkey, though we haven't really finished that part of the group yet. So I would consider, Germany, but I think Albania surprised me with that draw against Albania, and also Romania, and I'm sure Turkey will as well probably, have a strong tournament as well. So you have a lot of teams that were surprises to probably get out the group, or at least make a run for it. So, yeah, I mean, I think what Germany is saying, that they jumped off in recent tournaments to where now they're getting older as far as their younger players, and they're getting their younger players getting more playing time. So that adds to more talented and more preparedness for these kind of tournaments like Spain and Germany have had. So, it's good as it's not good, but if you're an England fan, but Germany and Spain really stand out to me so far.
And I'm not gassing Romania, Mr. Tom. Thank you very much. I'm just saying Romania played Belgium. Belgium looked bad. Okay, Belgium didn't look great. If Romania beat them, Romania advanced, and they could probably top the group at that point. So like Romania with their huge performance in the first match, hey, who knows? A draw would be fantastic for them. And name one Romanian player.
The one that I picked to score.
Good job. Good job. I think you picked Stančić.
Stančić, yeah.
Denisu?
Yeah.
Stančić. Yeah.
Stančić.
Georgie Hagi.
Georgie Hagi. No, doesn't count. Fantastic. All right, Stan.
Slobodan Milosevic. Well, I've not seen as many games probably as yourself, but I do like Germany. I think Germany have got a very good squad. That midfield is crazy, isn't it? With Wirtz, Jamal Musiala, and Gundogan.
They've got an incredible striker too. Just incredible. Just lights
Who's
out.
that?
Just never doubted him a moment in my life.
Oh, of course.
Never Yeah, my 2-year-old daughter's favorite song on the radio, Waka Waka.
It's going to be very interesting to see, you know, as you know, Kai Havertz playing as the main striker, what his return is going to be, especially with the talk of, you know, buying a striker. Are we going to go all out for a big, you know, 100 million maybe value of a striker, or because of the emergence of a Kai Havertz, does that mean that we can maybe just go for someone who's around 60? Because Kai Havertz is going to pull his weight, and I think that this tournament is going to show us a little bit more about that. So I'm interested in Germany, but I also like Portugal. I think squad-wise, Portugal got a very solid squad. My only thing is that sometimes is it going to be like I mentioned earlier about Man United? You know, when Cristiano Ronaldo went back, he's an aging player, and are they trying to fit too much around him to the detriment of the team? Because they have to play a certain way because he's old. He's still got the quality, he's still got the technical ability, but you now have to mold your team to. He's not going to be able to run back and do this and do that. You have to play to a certain way, and sometimes I think, is that going to be to the detriment of the team? But there's a couple of underdogs.
In the World Cup.
Yeah,
you know,
and there's some
they bench him on during the World Cup. They were just
by the end they did, didn't they?
Yeah. And I think I have talked to a number of people about the Portuguese national team because I'm going to Portugal in a few days, and I'm going to be there through the final, and I'm very excited to be there, and I'm very excited for Portugal to do well. But everyone that I've talked to in regards to Euro football and the Portuguese team, they all agree that Ronaldo has absolutely no business on the squad. I've run into so many people that just say, because he doesn't offer anything but goal scoring, you know, and you have to serve him. He's going to demand service, and you have to be aware of that. And I think that is a detriment to the Portuguese squad.
He has like a stat of something like 40-something free kicks that he's taken at international. It's something like 44 free kicks that he's taken. He's scored one of them. And it's like, so why is this guy still taking free kicks? Why is it someone else having a chance? Is it because they're not Cristiano Ronaldo? Do you know what I mean? It's to the detriment of the team. It's not like he's not had a chance. 40-odd free kicks, only scored one, and he's still taking them.
Yeah.
That header he missed was so un-Ronaldo-like, you know? He missed that header. He should have nailed that. He should have bulged the net with that. But he was so off. It wasn't even close.
The last thing I'd like to say about this tournament is that, you know, like Albania and Austria, some of the underdogs look like they're being quite plucky. And I don't really much, you know, watch a lot of international tournaments, but I always remember that one year that I did watch it, and it was Greece that won.
Yeah.
You know, a total out of nowhere. Do you think that this tournament could end up being a team out of nowhere that wins it?
It
you know,
absolutely could be. It absolutely
like an Austria,
could be.
For example, I'll just put a name there, like an Austria, instead of
like an Austria, Romania. Even you gotta consider even Denmark would be like an outsider, even though they have better players there. But any one of these teams, they're showing up, and Romania as well. Like Romania could get slaughtered against Belgium, but they still have another game to play. Who knows? And all you got to do is get to the round of 16, and then you just have to win, and then you have to win again, and then you have to win again. But like I say in pool to Mark all the time, all you have to do is make this shot. That's all you have to do. And then you got to make the next shot. But right now, all you have to do is make this shot. Don't think about anything else.
Yeah.
Now, I just have to comment on the whole Portugal situation with you guys, because Stan, I think you're talking less of watching them currently and more of the theory of it all and what we saw in the World Cup and in the previous Euros.
Yeah.
Where, yes, Ronaldo, I 100% agree, was a detriment to the team because it was all about him. This season, this Portugal team, I think, is different. And I've got them, I put money on them to win the whole thing. I think they have the most.
I do.
I think they have the most complete squad. And I think Ronaldo completes that squad because Mark, as you said, all he does is provide goals. I mean, Jesus Christ, like
biggest commodity in football,
if that's all you do, like go do
what
that.
I'm saying there is you can't count
know,
on
I
him
know.
to do anything else.
I know.
I get
I get
both
what you're
sides
saying.
of it. I get both sides, yeah.
We cannot deny his goal scoring ability, his knowledge of where to put himself, and it was a fluke at 37 years old that he missed that header. You know, Mark, and call him out on it. Call him out on it. But Portugal is very similar to Spain. Yes, Mr. Tom is after Stan. And Stan's still going right now, okay? Relax.
One last thing I'd like to say about Cristiano Ronaldo is that, as you mentioned, there's a lot of critics that say he shouldn't be in the team anymore. He should be nowhere near it. If the players that are in the current squad feel that way, then he shouldn't be in the team. But as long as they still embrace him and they still look at him as a leadership model and they want him there, then he still has a place. But if it's a case of the players are thinking, you know, we want to move on from this now, but hierarchy is still saying no, you know, he's still the poster boy, then that's to the detriment of the team. But as long as his teammates still appreciate what he can bring to the team, then he still probably has a place, right?
Yeah, I feel like they've taken a good hard look at the issues they had in the World Cup and the issues they had in the previous Euros where it was too Ronaldo centric. And what I saw in this first game was less just get it to Ronaldo and more allowing him to drag players out of position, drag defenders out of position because they have to cover him. They have to double up on him. And that's creating space. And when you look at the type of player that Portugal has in abundance, you're looking at the Diogo Jota, Neto, Bernardo Silva. These are all very similar style players who are very crafty, very creative, and not very robust.
Bruno Fernandes, yeah.
And Bruno Fernandes as well. You know, they can all chip a ball over. And then what you have, if you don't have Ronaldo there, you're chipping balls to nobody. You have Spain with 1,000 passes and one shot on goal type of shit going on. So to me, if they got their mindset correct of this is not the Ronaldo show, but Ronaldo, we're going to feed you when it's time to be fed, but you do your thing and pull players, almost as a decoy. And then, you know, he's going to get a few bangers in here. He is going to. He's still an incredible header of the ball, kicker of the ball, everything. Maybe pull him off a free kick because maybe pull him off of that.
That ship sailed.
Yeah. And oh yes, and I just wanted to mention one more thing about Germany. Kai Havertz, you were wondering how he did. Game 1, goal and an assist.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, Mr. Tom, your turn. Who are the teams that have impressed you this tournament?
Oh, fuck it, most of them. No. In all seriousness, no. No,
because you've had this long.
No, because you've already named them all. You like by the time you get to the 5th person, it's like all the good answers are gone. But in all seriousness,
no, Glenn. No, Glenn.
Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, so, cheers, Bandy. I did want to touch on the fact that, like Stan said earlier, he went out. He made a point of going out to watch Netherlands versus France. It ended up being, I don't want to say boring, not necessarily boring, but there was no goals, right? And that's what we like in football. We like goals. Whereas, ironically, I imagine most people on Earth, it's probably because Scooby might have paused the stream or something. That sometimes triggers adverts. Most people, I imagine, would have turned their nose up at Albania versus Croatia on a Wednesday afternoon. Well, in UK, it's a Wednesday afternoon.
It's not glamorous. But
it turned out to be one of the best games of the tournament so far. A genuine end-to-end football match where one team was winning, then they were losing, and then they scored at the Like it was a genuine. I guess my point is what it's just funny how football turns out. Like there's a lot of games in the Premier League, Big Six teams. Like obviously the big viewership, like obviously the stars are on display, and and cancel each other out. But then you get a team like as Stan said, unfashionable teams, and can be good. Just funny, like I say, funny how football works out. And obviously Germany, Spain, you know what? Most teams apart from England and Scotland have looked all right. So,
well, yeah, Tom, a testament to what you're saying. So far, I think people have voted the Turkey-Georgia match was the most entertaining match of the tournament so far. When there's been so many, but Turkey-Georgia, it wasn't even on in the United States.
It was not. It was not aired, and I was so disappointed because I knew nothing of the players or the two teams, and I was really looking forward to it. And
at least two of the goals in that match are great. Like, what's his name? The young lad for Turkey. The young lad for Turkey who scored. Yeah, great goal.
Ardu Güler.
Genuinely great.
Yeah,
I know as a Leeds fan, I'm not supposed to praise Turkey, anything to do with it, but they were great football. I mean, that young player weren't even alive when Galatasaray played Leeds in UEFA Cup. So I'm not going to tar him with that brush. But the goal was nice. It's a great game. Great game.
Yeah. I had to watch that back in just clips. Like I didn't see that whole
goal
game.
Was sick.
Well, it was nearly. Georgia should have equalised. Should have been 2-2. The Turkey defender got in the way, actually threw his head in front.
Oh
of the
yes,
shot.
Anisha sent that to us on the chat. Sorry.
Yeah, threw his head in front of the shot, and then 20 seconds later, it's 3-1. They scored at the other end. It's great stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. All right, Tom. So guys, have your originally, like I said, I originally chose Portugal to win the ting. And I know we're only in halfway through the second round of the group stages, but I want to know who you originally chose, and has your mind been changed to somebody else? So I went with Portugal, and I'm really starting to like Spain on this, but I'm gonna stick with Portugal for now because, like I said, we're early. So, Mr. Tom, we'll start with you since you went last time. So, who was your original pick to win it all, and has that changed?
Nah, it hasn't really. No, I would have probably I didn't really give it that much thought because I only really think about Leeds United. But at the same time, I would have probably gone with the host nation because they're obviously a much better unit than they were at the World Cup. I mean, there's not really much I can say about them because they've not really beat anybody, but they've not played anybody. So, like in terms of elite teams. So,
I'll let my great granddaddy hear you say that.
No, I'm sorry. No, they were obviously they were probably the best team in the world when your granddad was playing. They probably were. They're one of only two teams. It would have been England or Scotland. So, but in all seriousness, just Germany, they look solid, and until someone beats them, well, I mean that goes for most teams, but the host nations tend to go deep into tournaments, especially when it's one of the more elite nations. So
yeah. All right, Stan, who was the team you went with, and has your mind been changed?
Well, as I say, I haven't been watching the games avidly, but going in, I felt that Germany were the favourites, and I'm just going to piggyback on what Mr. Tom said, being the host nation, having a very good, strong, deep squad as well. But you've just heard me big up Portugal as well. I would probably bet on Germany, but then have a second sly, cheeky bet that I wouldn't tell anyone about and put a little bet on Portugal as well. But I'm not going to change. I'm going to stick my hat on the peg with Germany as the host nation. I think it just gives them that little bit more of an edge. But I do like Portugal. Maybe as the World Cup was the one for Messi, maybe this is the tournament that does something for Cristiano Ronaldo. He lifts the trophy as well.
Well, he's already done it. I will tell you though, when they won the Euros and he went down in the final injured, and he was sitting on the pitch crying, and this moth came and landed on his face. And then it was floating around here, and it became all about the moth. What this moth, even the animals are going to console Cristiano at this point. And there's this moth. And I tell you what, when he had a free kick in the first Portugal game,
the moth picked up the ball and took it over the line. No,
a moth came floating around and landed on his shirt and then flew off. And I was like, he's gonna nail this free kick. It's happening. This moth is the man of the match, the moth of the match.
The moth of the match.
Free kick. He missed the free kick, but
now the moth killed it.
Killed that moth dead. So they're gonna lose. All right, Lonzo, who was the team that you picked to win it, and has that changed?
So I picked England to win it. The reason why, because the reason I think they're gonna win is that every team goes through a hiccup, as France did today, or at least the France and Holland game were draw 0-0. So every team that's a favorite has got their issues. And that run they made in Euro 2020 shows that they can go that far if they want to. And despite the fact that Southgate doesn't know what he's doing, gives me hope that Harry Kane and the bunch can get it done and make a run for it. And I still think they can do it. It's just a matter of cleaning it up. I'd rather have England have issues now than the knockout rounds, if that makes sense. So that's why I stick with England, and that's why
some teams are late starters, aren't they, in the competition? Some teams can be late bloomers. But then again, if you open the record books right now, it does say that England have won a match and drawn a match. It doesn't say underneath in brackets, but they played fucking shit. It doesn't say that. It just tells you.
And it's interesting because last Euros they drew against Scotland and they made a run for it too. That's why it gives me hope that they can make a run for it, because last year they drew against Scotland 0-0 and they still made it to the final. But yeah, it's like France were a heavy favorite as well. They had their own issues. So yeah, I'm right with England. I still think they can do it. If this is the time to do it, this is now.
Yeah. All right, Mark.
Well, as I had mentioned, before to you, Lolo, that I thought that England was going to win it all before this all started. But after two very uninspired performances, I can't stick with them on that. While I'm impressed with Germany and their ability to score goals, but I look at Spain and wow, they've put it together early.
What was their last? What was their last game and result? I didn't see it. What was it?
It was 1-0 Italy. But Spain. Italy had one shot on target, and it was at the end of the match. Spain had 9.
Yeah,
it hit the post.
Two matches. 6 goals, and they've not conceded
3 goals.
3 goals, is it?
We only won 2-0 the first one.
Two clean sheets.
Clean sheets.
Let's see what Spain does without Rodri, because he is not going to be able to play for that third match because of 2 yellow cards.
The smartest thing ever.
But then also, he had a bit of a collision on that knee. And so I would pay very, very close attention to the health of Rodri. because there's a small part of me, as much as like with Man City, as Rodri grows, so will Spain. You know, so but Spain's the team that my brain says will win. My heart is still with Portugal.
I was going to say England.
No. England has lost
out of here. Yeah,
lost me completely with their performances. It's so just uninspired. It's boring. It's just I just don't see. You scored one goal in 2 games with all of that. Offensive power, no, not doing it for me.
They scored 2 goals.
Did they score? Oh, that's right, 2.
Yeah,
they
Kane
did score
scored.
2.
Yeah,
yes, that's right.
But even like Kane's goal was like ping, 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 ping. Oh, here I happen to be in the right place at the right time.
And that's one of those where I think like Kyle Walker should get. It should say Kyle Walker's goal on that because Kyle Walker did everything for that fucking goal. He did everything, and Kane's just there, boom, and they're like, "Oh, best goal scorer ever."
Was it Kimmich that he pickpocketed?
No.
Got to be there to put him away though. That's bread and butter, isn't it? That's what he's got to do. It's your bread and butter right there, isn't it? Them sort of goals.
Yeah.
Got to be in the right place, and
or not Kimmich.
Yeah. You don't want to be a Gabriel Jesus where you're in that position and then you put it wide. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the middle of the goal, like he had no choice but to score that.
Yeah, that's bread and butter.
Listen, so Mark mentioned Rodri being out with a yellow card. This whole 2 yellow cards to get out of to get knocked out of the next match is crazy, and it doesn't get wiped away until after the quarterfinal.
What was it before? Was it changed? Was it something different before?
I think it was 3, and it got wiped out after the round of 16 or going into the round of 16. No.
2 seems strict.
2 and the yellow cards flying out in the first matches was like crazy because now you have a defender that has to play 4 matches without getting a yellow card. So to me, when I saw that Rodri was on a yellow going into that game, I was going, as soon as Spain score, Rodri needs to get a yellow card. He needs to. Because you score, you're probably going to win. At worst, you draw. That's 4 points. You're advancing. Third game of the group stage, fine. No Rodri. And now you have Rodri who can get a yellow. Yeah, clean bill of health. You're going to have all these people surviving into the round of 16 or the knockout stages, and they're going to be on a yellow. And if they get a yellow, then they'll be out for the quarterfinal. Like, it's crazy. It doesn't make sense. And then you get a referee like the one and the Italy-Spain match, who, as soon as the whistle is blown, the Italian players lay on the ground, and he's calling foul. And you're like, okay, that wasn't a foul. He just threw himself on the ground. Okay, that's not a foul. That's not a foul. And by 20 minutes into the game, he's called 7 or 8 fouls. Now the cards need to start coming if that's the way you're actually going. And he gave Donnarumma a card, who is their captain, gave him a card for coming up and arguing a foul with him. He's their captain.
Yeah,
he's allowed to talk to them.
But that's a little different, because when the goalie is captain, there's someone who's proxy to speak on the goalkeeper's behalf, as the captain's voice or whatever. And that person, whoever it was already in the ref's ear. And so Donnarumma comes running up, and it's like, hey, wait a minute, I'm the captain, but you have established a proxy and he's in my ear. And so now I have to give you that card.
And any fucking referee who knows what they're doing goes, hey, now he's already talking to me. You don't give out the first yellow card of the game to the goalkeeper who's the captain. Like, to me, it was so dumb. And then the Rodri yellow card was
he says to the player, listen, I'll speak to the captain, not you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And make it like that. if the player comes, I'll speak to the captain. If he's got a problem, he'll speak to me, right?
It's just like having some sort of sense
Right.
about these yellow cards,
Well,
where it's like, and then because then there were yellow card challenges that he wasn't giving out
right.
because he was like, oh, I don't know, maybe I
Right.
shouldn't.
Well, I want to know based on that, based on the new rule, who didn't tell when Portugal scored the what ended up being the winning goal, Conceição, who didn't tell him don't take your shirt off? Because now you have gotten a very unnecessary yellow in a tournament where the rule has changed, and you run the risk of missing a match, and you've already proven as an excellent
I thought that exactly, Mark. Exactly.
That was just
and I thought it was Neto for a second, and I was like,
you walk in a tight right now, aren't you?
You
just walk in a tight right.
No. I thought it was Jota that scored, and I was like, why are you?
Well,
either way,
Jota did score, but it was chalked off, right?
Silly booking.
Yeah.
Yes, absolute silly booking.
Stupid. Don't take your fucking shirt off. Are you an idiot?
Now
you think they're going to bring you off the bench for the next game? Like, no. Well, maybe they should if they want to clear their yellow cards.
It made me chuckle today when we went to the pub. It was myself and my colleague who's Brazilian and loves his football. And the game was so boring. But then there was the Dutch goal that was disallowed. And my colleague was sat there and was going, it's taking a long time for VAR to work it out. I'm like, well, it's an English referee, isn't it? Which kind of made us laugh. That was what stood out to me. It's like, why is it taking so long? And I looked up and was like, oh, it's the English ref. Of course it's taking so long.
Exactly.
You know?
And then for like, I don't know what commentary you had, but when we were watching it,
they had the volume down. We couldn't hear it. They had volume down.
Oh, so they're saying the problem here is it's all subjective. This is not like a lines drawing, anything like that. He's clearly offside.
So then it's up to the ref, right? Because VAR is for clear and obvious.
That's what they're saying. So the call on the field,
then VAR shouldn't
the call
be
on the field was offside.
Okay.
So it has to be bad enough to change it.
Right.
And they're saying it's all subjective. It's all subjective. It's all subjective. Well, if it's all subjective, the referee needs
Frog
to
Rock
go.
is subjective. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rom-coms are subjective.
Well, who's it subjective to? The referee,
Exactly.
the head referee.
Yeah, do your
Send
job.
him to the monitor.
Do your job.
No.
You're there to ref the game.
And they never sent him to the monitor.
Yeah.
And they just stuck with it. And for me, if you look at it, like Magnon is, what is his name? Magnon.
Who's offside?
The keeper for France.
Oh yeah, the keeper. Yeah, I know who you mean. Magnon. Yeah.
He's like this.
Filet mignon.
And the goal goes in, and he's like, "Oh, this guy's in the way." That's why I couldn't dive. When he's
ball.
like when he saw that guy in the way was when he saw the ball going over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think it was against Aston Villa where Wolves had a very similar situation. And the guy that they called as the interference was 5'8", and Emi Martinez is like 6'2", 6'3", but he got in the way. I couldn't see over him. I got 6 inches on him, but I couldn't see over him.
He was
and I felt the same way in as far as like the French goal or the French goalkeeper. I was like, you were never getting to that ball. You got so fucking lucky. Anyone?
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to send myself this this image. Here it is. The Netherlands actually got mad enough that the what are they called? The Netherlands. Let me just put it up here. Yeah, this is from the Dutch FA. They actually posted this: an extremely poor decision and offside given for no fucking reason, which we simply cannot accept. We warned the UEFA that the VAR is a France fan before the game, but they didn't change him. Our patience has been tested multiple times. KMVB will now consider it its options.
That sounds like they've just used the template from Nottingham Forest. Sounds almost exactly the same when they put out their statement, right, about considering their options and that. What options?
Yeah.
Them's the rules. You what?
Is that,
what are you gonna do?
Was that
go
the
home
one where they
home?
were like accusing of their own player of sabotaging the match? Is that the one we're thinking of with Nottingham Forest?
No, they were saying that they said before the match that the person on VAR was a Luton fan or something. Do you remember? And they tried to tell them about it. It's almost identical.
That's exactly it.
And then they ended with the same thing. We are now going to consider our options. And it's like, what options?
What are the options?
Yeah, what are these options?
You either think they're cheating or they're not. Like,
you're either gonna play your next match or you're not. What options?
Yeah.
Isn't it? You're either going to play football or you're not. Guess what they did? They played football.
Exactly.
And they were the only ones that voted against it.
Yeah. What's their options? What are they going to say? We're going to drop out of the tournament? It's like, fair enough. Someone else goes through then, didn't they?
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
Yep.
Okay,
guys.
I wonder what team they'd have replaced them with.
Well, we're heading towards the end of the show here at the two. I have the hiccups, and this is very annoying. Sorry, guys. If it's annoying for you, I'll try to talk in between them. Now, before we close out the show, I just want to know right now who is the most impressive player for you at this tournament? Who has turned your head? Who has surprised you? Anybody?
Anyone want to go first?
For Germany.
Musiala.
Simon was the Tom, yeah.
Why?
For more than last week.
I know I'm probably being biased here, but I'll say Mark Gahey. I think it being his first major tournament, I think he's done well for himself. Especially it being like, they're always saying that England had issues at the back, and they do. But it seems like Jones and Gahey seem to have found a good partnership with them amongst themselves. So I think Mark Gahey really has proven himself to be the future England center back ahead of Maguire.
Yeah. Good shout. Looks like he belongs. To look out of place.
Yeah, I feel that he was probably England's best player.
Doesn't look out of place, does it?
Yep. That's exactly what I'm trying to do right now, Scooby, while people are talking and muting myself. Okay. Stan, what about you?
I'm with Mr. Tom with Musiala as a young lad, and he's got a couple of goals, and I'm interested to see what more that he can do. So I'll go with the same one, Musiala.
All right. Yeah, good shout. I would love to see him at Arsenal. I've been saying that for years now.
Well, that's
not going to happen.
Do you know Bayern Munich have signed are going to sign Olise from Crystal Palace?
Yeah, good.
That's a great signing.
Good. We don't need Crystal Palace.
I wanted him to stay at Crystal Palace. It was never going to happen.
You just hate him as a person?
I think Crystal Palace are going to experience regret, serious regret.
I do. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Bayern Munich offered them 18 million for their manager, who's only been there for about 3 months. And when they sack him in November after a poor start, because they sold all their best players this summer, they'll sit there wishing, wow, we really should have took that 18 million from Bayern Munich for the guy that only had worked here for 10 weeks.
Right. For me, as far as Euro competition, I mean, there's a lot of great players to give shout outs to, but they're all kind of like, they're all people I've known. I expect that sort of thing. So when I watch the Euros and I watch all these matches, I'm looking for a player that impresses me, but I don't know who they are. And so for me, it's Jonas Vind of Denmark. He plays opposite up front with Højlund and gives Eriksen and anyone else that is crossing the ball another option.
Is he young or an older statesman?
He's 25. He's 25. I don't know who he plays for as far as club, but I've been just really impressed in the 2 Denmark matches I've seen, or the 2 Danish matches I've seen, and I've been really impressed. So I'm going to go with Jonas Wind or Vind. Jonas Wind.
I think he plays for Dortmund, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. No, he plays with Wolfsburg.
Okay, so close.
Which is why I've never heard. I've never seen, Wolfsburg play.
All right. Well, all these players are great. Great shout, Mark. Never even heard of that fella. I'll keep an eye out. Mark Gay, very, very good. The only one who seems to be showing up for England right now. He's playing his heart out. And I think Tom said Romelu Lukaku. So that's that.
He said Musiala.
He did say Musiala.
Just making sure he's listening.
I'm always listening.
No, he said Jamie Bamford.
Oh, you know what? Bamford could not do much worse if they had picked Patrick Bamford, him limping around the pitch, stinking the joint out.
Honestly,
fit in with the rest of them.
Be right at home.
Yeah. Well, I think the guy that has actually impressed me the most, it's gonna come from Spain, because that's the one that I've been focusing on the most. And if you haven't watched this 16-year-old kid, Lamine Yamal, play ball, you're missing out. You're missing out on something special. And if this kid isn't ruined by overplaying, he could be something special. And I heard them say, if he continues on and plays until he's 37, he will play in the 2044 Euros.
What's his position?
He's a right winger.
A right winger.
Taka.
And what's his club? I've heard of him. What's his club?
Barcelona.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
16. He's 16 years old. He starts for
16.
Barcelona and was probably their best player all season. And he starts for the Spanish national team. And he bosses it. However, I just had to give him his props there because
16.
Surprisingly enough, the guy that's impressing me the most, I'm going the opposite, Mark, than you. Somebody you've never heard of. This is somebody that I actively most of the year because I hate the club that he's with and I think he made a poor decision and he's got a lot of antics that I'm not a fan of. But I'm gonna agree with this dumbass Gary Neville right here. I think he's one of the reasons we think Spain probably, I'm gonna disagree with him. Sorry, I didn't read that all the way.
Can't go all the way.
It's Marc Cucurella.
He's had a couple of really good games.
After performance, there's only been the time.
Anyway,
I dangerous.
Oh,
dangerous
he's back.
Making predictions at this stage.
He's frozen again. Yes, Marc Cucurella has been absolutely fantastic.
He played for Chelsea.
Realize he does. He
With
plays
the big head.
very poorly.
Here you go, Stan. Here.
Really?
He's one of the individuals that Brighton basically I don't know what the word is.
From
took
Brighton.
Chelsea for their bank account.
Really? He's playing really well, is he? He looked terrible at Chelsea. Yeah. Really, he's playing really well.
Brighton pulled Chelsea's pants down on that one.
He has been lights out. And so there you go. Chelsea made an offer of $100 million to Spain for Cucurella. The Spanish Federation told him that he's still their player and he will return after the Euros.
Very good. I like that. Very good.
That's right up there.
No,
when
I'm sitting there. The reason I chose him, Stan, is because I know how bad he is.
What did he say? A 4-4-3 or something like that? He was like, "That's what Chelsea should play."
Yeah, 4-4-3.
Yeah,
that's what he wanted.
That's 12 players, mate.
But I gotta tell you, Stan, I'm right there with you. That I hate him most of the season, and he doesn't fit really well with Chelsea, and but when he's on your team, he doesn't stop running. He makes blocks from the left side, the right side, all over. He's flying up the pitch, and he's providing Nico Williams. Nico Williams is flourishing because of the work rate of Cuckoo, as we call him. So,
he does get palpitations though when he sees every time he sees Ben White. He's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Not him again.
But yeah, Cuckoo, I'm gonna give you your flowers right now. All right.
God damn it.
Yeah, and Fabian Ruiz has been fantastic. I knew nothing about that man's game. He has been fucking lights out. Incredible. But guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us all night and talking for a while, including most of my
This is a man that likes to talk. Anybody that will listen to him.
Shut up, Bandit. Making fun of me. Anyway, guys, it has been a shit ton of fun. I hope you all have had fun in the comment section as well. Don't forget to join us next Friday. We'll be doing the same thing and hopefully putting out some other stuff whenever we can. But Mark, Lonzo, Mr. Tom, Stan, thank you guys so much for joining us. Any last words? All right, here's your dick.
Sehr, sehr traditionell, würde ich sagen. Ich spreche nicht nur von den Trikots, ich spreche vor allem natürlich auch von den Schottenröcken, vom Kilt, den man hier trägt, gehört dazu. Was dazu gehört, das ist mit Sicherheit auch das Bier. Was ich allerdings auch relativ häufig sehe. Okay, das trage ich jetzt morgen beim Spiel nicht unbedingt. Was ich auch sehe, was ich sehr hübsch finde,